Hey brewers, today we're doing another Fresh Wort Kit. This time we're doing an American IPA from our friends from All Inn Brewing Co. With this one, American IPA, the tasting notes are Resinous floral hops on a light malt base. The dry hop suggestion is Morgan's finishing hops Citra 50 grams, Centennial 50 grams. Yeast suggestion is US-05. As you already know, I love big juicy dry hops. So I'm going to up the dry hop to 100 grams of Citra and 100 grams of Centennial just to get a bit more flavour coming through, again because I love those big juicy flavours. With the yeast today, I'm also not doing US-05. I'm actually going to use the Lallemands Pomona Modern Hybrid IPA yeast. Haven't used this one before, but what I've actually heard about this one is this should provide me with, again, nice big juicy IPA. Also a bit of a haze in the final beer. So this American IPA could turn into a little bit of a hazy American IPA. We'll see how that goes. Now just before we get into it, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. So we'll just crack this box open. And here is a big juicy bladder. Okay, so I'm going to put my sanitized hands in there. Pull this pull tab. And our wort is going straight in there. Now, the trick that I've learned from the last few of these is to make sure that that nozzle is definitely inside the fermenter before you pull the tab. So clean sanitized hands is probably key here, I think. Now I did put my fermenter on a bit of a lean on purpose. Just find it easier that when you're holding the wort kit and you're pulling the tab, that this is already on a lean, just to capture any little bits that you might spill around the side. So with 15 litres of wort now in a pressure fermenter, I'm going to top this up with 5 litres of tap water to hit our target of 20 litres. With the 5 litres of water added to get us to 20 degrees, it's now time to sanitize our pill hydrometer and drop that straight in the brew so we can get our first gravity reading. Apparently the Pomona yeast is a hybrid yeast that was selected for flavour and fermentation performance in hoppy beers. High ABV and performs extremely well in highly hopped IPA fermentations, resulting in a fruity and stress tolerant and robust strain that enhances biotransformation and haze for modern IPAs. A unique flavour profile as well, with notes of peach, citrus and tropical fruits. The pitching range is, I'm going to say, standard ale temperatures between 18 to 22 degrees. So I'll pitch this in at 20 degrees today and we'll ferment at 20 degrees. I'll let the PSI rise naturally to about 3 PSI. Then we'll do our dry hop once fermentation is finished on about day 5 or 6. Then just a standard 2-day cold crush. All right, the starting gravity from the pill is showing 1.050. And the temperature at the moment is 22 degrees, so I'm just going to pitch the yeast and then we'll drop it down to 20 in the chest freezer. So sanitize my hands, sanitize the yeast packet, sanitize the scissors. Alright, we'll cut the top off our Pomona yeast and we will just throw that straight in there. I'm not sure if you can see there, but all of the hop sediment already building up at the bottom. That shows me that, that's an IPA. There's so much hops in there. The smells and the flavors are going to be amazing. That with the haze from the Pomona yeast, yum. I can't wait to try this beer once it's ready.
So we now find ourselves on day 5 for our 100 gram dry hop of 50 grams of Citra and 50 grams of Centennial hops. So I'm hoping to get citrusy, grapefruit, melon, peachy, kind of tropical flavors from the Citra hops, and then some pine, a little bit of citrus, and some floral flavours and aromas from the Centennial hops as well. So I actually did a soft crash with this one at 15 degrees. Now that just means that the fermentation temperature that it was at, I reduced it to 15 degrees to drop a lot of the yeast out of circulation. Once I throw the hops in, I'm going to crank up the spunning valve to 10 psi because I'm in the final stages of fermentation now, and I just want to capture any additional gases instead of releasing them, which will help me to naturally carbonate the beer. Following this, I'll hold the hops in here at 15 degrees for 2 days. Then I'll do a 2-day cold crash at about 2 degrees before we transfer the finished beer into a corny keg through a closed pressure transfer. And here's our first pour. I'm actually calling this one the Hazy Inn American IPA. The starting gravity was 1.050 and the final gravity was 1.0016, which gave us a final ABV of 6.35%. Now, how good does that look for a hazy American IPA? Just look at that. That Pomona yeast has done absolute wonders in turning this American IPA into a juicy American hazy IPA. That just looks dense, thick, juicy. Like, I mean, look at that. You can't see through it at all. That's actually come out better than what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting the yeast to have done this good of a job. All right, so I'll go in for the aroma here. Ooh, oh, that smells different. That smells good. It definitely has that floral smell, which All Inn Brewing Co had under the tasting notes on the box. Yeah, very florally. It also smells a little bit malty as well. I think that's a pretty unique smell. Yeah, resin, floral, tiny, maybe a touch bit of citrus in that, which you'd expect, but definitely none of those big fruity, smacking you in the face kind of smells that we've had on this channel before. Yeah, that smells good. I like that one. I'm gonna go for a taste here as well now. Oof, yeah, definitely get the citrus in that. Still some of the florally kind of flavors hanging around there as well. Definitely get the malt, full malt. Oh, it's quite dry. It's actually very crisp for an IPA. That's quite different to what I'm used to. Like, I was expecting that to be really thick. I mean, it's heavy. I'm thinking it's very heavy because of the amount of hops that were in there. Like you saw earlier on in the video, just the sediment that was in the Fermzilla after I put the contents of the bladder into it. It's just, that's where I'm getting the heaviness from. Not the actual mouthfeel or the body of the beer itself. That's light and crisp, which is good. Now this beer came out quite strong, if you recall, 6.35%. I did a 20 litre volume into the Fermzilla to begin with. Something that I didn't actually consider is the amount of hops that was in the initial Fermzilla. You could kind of see a lot of the hop haze and everything sitting in there. When I transferred the finished beer from the Fermzilla into a corny keg, I reckon I probably lost about 5, 6, 7 litres of beer just to trub sitting in the bottom. I mean, the dry hop didn't help as well, obviously, but a lot of the hops that were in there from the Boil and the Whirlpool editions didn't help that either. So if you're not looking for a 6.35% beer, and if you actually do want to fill up your 19 litre corny keg, then I would definitely recommending probably trying to go for like a 23, 24 litre batch. So the appearance there, look, I'll give you a bit of a closer look, but it is very dense, very murky, very hazy. I might see if I can get a better shot, actually. There we go, look at that. In the sunlight, look at that haze. That is just thick and dark and juicy. Now I have absolutely no idea what the standard American IPA was supposed to look like. I've just got the juicy version using the Pomona yeast, but my God, that's a pretty cool looking beer, huh? That is awesome. Would I brew another one of these? Absolutely. I'd be interested to see what would happen if I went different hops, Citra and Centennial, because I think there was obviously a lot of heavy additions during the boil or the whirlpool as well, which is why there was so much sediment in the Fermzilla. I definitely recommend trying All Inn Brewing Co's American IPA Fresh Wort Kit. And if you can get your hands on it, throw in the Pomona yeast and see how you go. Cheers, guys, and happy brewing.